Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So even though I did one yesterday, actually quite a bit has come out just in the last day. So we'll start with a quick update on Avatar Legends role-playing game. 34 hours to go, we're over 70,000 backers, and we're at $8.42 million. So that means we hit the 8 million stretch goal, the final stretch goal, and are more or less on track, I think, to make just over 9 million. We'll see how much it accelerates in the final day, but the idea is that I think it has to hit what, 9.2 or something. We'll cover that in a second. I think they have some of the details in one of their updates, but they posted this update number 18 to say that we did unlock the final stretch goal, the all-star actual play video. Now this obviously was met with a bit of a mixed reaction, and it just in general felt like some people were kind of excited about it, but I didn't see any like people really going like, wow, this is the best like final stretch goal ever. That for the final thing that they built up for ages, it didn't really hit the heights that I think they thought it would. So in unlocking it here, they've also added in this thing that says the adventure they play will be made into an exclusive PDF adventure just for backers. So this was the thing a lot of people were sort of talking about here, with the idea that effectively before they announced this, all the stretch goal was that you get early access as a backer to this video. This video would eventually go public at a certain point. So it's, you know, it's one of those things where, like, sure, it's something, but it's not exactly like being done entirely for the backers. And for the stretch goal as part of the campaign, it felt like, you know, why are you basically putting out marketing material as the final stretch goal? So them actually turning that story into a PDF is giving something to the backers here as just a digital sort of extra. That's good. That's an immediate sort of course correction, just something to be like, counter that obvious criticism of this final stretch goal, and just something nice for the fans. So that's definitely something to note just with them, is that they did make a kind of last minute change there. Seems quite good. So there's that. Yeah, that's what they say here. We're currently 16th, and if we reach 9.2 million, we'll take our spot in the top 10. So 9.2 seems maybe just about doable. We don't know exactly how much it's going to take off in the sort of final stage, of course, but you know, it has accelerated from, I suppose, the whole middle of the project, doing about like 100,000 per day. It has done like effectively like almost another 500,000 in just the last day. So let me just check here. Flying Bison. So you can see here the thing with the Flying Bison tier. So of course there's a late shipping and there's a normal version. Because some people are switching their backings around, these do occasionally become available. So there's actually one Flying Bison normal shipping available. So if you want those deluxe dice as soon as possible, you might actually be able to switch your pledge to this higher tier but get the proper shipping, because a few people have noticed this just in the final thing if you are looking for that deluxe stuff. But yeah, that's all there really is to say there. I will do a final update once the campaign comes to an end. Next, this is kind of a big one. Funko Pop, Avatar Funko Pop, a new one is being teased here, but it more or less is effectively revealed. So Big Apple Collectibles are going to be getting the exclusive on this 1079 Avatar Funko Pop. It is going to be Azula, of course. You can figure this out from the silhouette, in the sense of it's clearly someone firebending into the ground, someone with cut hair over this side but normal hair this side, and who wears something kind of pointy in their head, in their hair. So it has to be Azula. Realistically, what this is, it's going to be Azula from a certain section of her Agni Kai with Zuko in Sozin's Comet, where she is using her firebending to sort of boost herself along the ground, basically just before Zuko does his breakdancing move to sort of break her route and send her to the ground. So it looks like that's what's going to be depicted here, and they're saying there's also going to be a chase variant too. We'll see exactly what that is. Does that mean glow in the dark? Will there be a different expression in the chase version, or what? But yeah, it's going to be announced on Friday, so not too long to wait until we actually get to see, I suppose, what this properly looks like. But like I said, it isn't exclusive to this place, Big Apple Collectibles. Hopefully on Friday as well, we do find out maybe where this is available from in other regions, because of course I think this is an American store, so that's going to make it very tricky from a lot of people outside of America to actually order this and avoid like massive shipping and customs fees and so on. So hopefully Funko announces something with that, because I think because the original Azula Funko Pop was also an exclusive and one of the harder to get ones still that maintains a big value to this day. I think it's one of the only ones that is like still super expensive. It feels a little weird to have the second Azula also be an exclusive and just not make her more available, but we'll see just how good or bad the availability is on this when it actually comes out. The only other thing I'll add on this is that I initially saw this news on this account, and I noticed that in the comments a lot of people were saying like, oh no, not Big Apple Collectibles, will it be shipping out in 2 years? I was kind of like, what does that mean? And then, don't make me deal with Big Apple Collectibles. I'm still waiting on one of my orders to be refunded. It's been 6 months. Do they still ship orders a year after release? Comes out in 2026. So there's a decent amount of people here saying that this maybe isn't the best company to order from. So just be aware of that if you want to go in on this, that this could be a bit of an issue. I think somewhere else see some people say that they have more of a problem with normal Funkos, but exclusives actually do ship relatively okay. But I don't know the situation. I've never ordered from them myself, but just be aware. On Friday, we'll learn about this. This is when the, I guess, pre-orders for it will also go live, so keep that in mind. Final thing is also merchandise. So it's McFarlane stuff. So you'll remember a few months ago when the first news about what exactly McFarlane will be putting out came out. It was basically just product listings, and we knew all about the characters that they were going to be doing at that 5-inch scale, but there was also 2 7-inch figures and a 12-inch statue. And so when they actually announced the 5-inch scale, it was weird that they didn't also announce the other stuff. But Todd McFarlane did tease the 7-inch Zuko, so we knew that it was still a thing, confirming that basically all those listings were in fact correct. Now, those final 3 products have finally been announced. Pre-orders are up for them. October 2021 seems to be the release date for this last batch of McFarlane stuff. So let's start here with the 12-inch Aang. It's going to retail for $39.99. For a 12-inch statue, that seems pretty decent. And here it is. It's Avatar State Aang on an air scooter. Bit of a weird combination here in that it's basically the Avatar Legends logo, Aang in the Avatar state with his fists together like that, pointing the arrows towards each other. But the Avatar state in this instance is powering an air scooter. We've seen that before. Korra did it, but that was in a sort of race scenario. This is this epic Aang pose of, you know, him in him as a statue. It feels a bit weird that like they kind of felt like, okay, we have to have elements on this. We want him doing this pose. Just put him on an air scooter. And especially because of what they've done with the Aang figure, this feels just a tad lazy to me. I think the Aang looks good, but the plain base and air scooter as the main thing going on here just doesn't feel particularly creative to me, considering some of the other statues that we have had announced. This feels very low-key, but it's there. Because it's from McFarlane, I guess it's going to be a little bit more readily available as well, so you don't have to, I guess, rush to get in on this, but if you like it, you know, it's there. But yeah, I think McFarlane are more known for their action figures rather than their statues, so we'll get into it here. So here is the Wave 1 Aang 7-inch figure. So here you can see what you sort of get with him. So you get the figure, you get an air scooter, you get the staff, glider staff, but just as a staff, and a base. And this is what I was pointing out about the statue, is that this ball is basically just like this, and the base is the exact same. So they're just doing like the same thing here with this. This is why I feel this just feels a little like, no, not for me. But yeah, like you could see the enhanced articulation here. Double jointed elbows, pretty nice. Double jointed knees here. There's some ankle stuff and also like a toe joint as well there. The big thing though, no replacement hands and no replacement heads. And once again, this seems to be another situation where they haven't, at least in my opinion, got the face all that right. In general, I think it looks fine, but again, it's that mouth expression. It's the expression that I think none of the companies have managed to properly get right. I'd say the initial Book 3 Aang from Diamond Select is maybe the best on an action figure that they've done so far, because it's about as neutral as you can get with just a slight smile, whereas I think a lot of the other figures have gone way too much down the direction of Aang with a massively goofy expression, or Aang being a little bit more angry than you would think he should be, just based on the character that he is. And this one feels a little bit too much like a snarl, and we don't really see Aang do this all that much, outside of maybe the desert, and like a few other instances. For the most part, like an Aang that you'd want is Aang just with a nice sort of calm but happy expression. And I don't think they've quite captured that yet. There's always been something that's a little bit off. Otherwise, I think it actually looks quite good. While acknowledging the thing that I've been saying in these videos over the last few months, Book 1 Aang, I just think doesn't work that well as an action figure. The outfit is so detailed that it's very difficult to execute properly in plastic, because again, the whole what's going on with the layers on this clothing here on the lower half, you know, this orange shawl seems to always be a problem for everyone. I think they've actually done a decent job with it here by like molding it in a kind of moving kind of pose, basically, that shawl, where no matter what way you pose it, you can always sort of justify it with like, oh, he's airbending, so the wind is blowing the shawl, rather than it being locked, laser focused into just the set position like it is weirdly done on the Diamond Select figure, or locked like almost over the arms on the Best Action figure. I think they've done the shawl a little bit better here, so that it probably shouldn't hinder motion all that much. I do wonder how flexible this is going to be. The neck seems a little long in my opinion, but that might just be the angle they have in some of these shots. You can see here that it is an air scooter. That's what they're going for here, that there's a little tab here that pegs into the foot, and this is sort of the attempt at an air scooter pose that they're trying to do. My guess is you can probably maneuver it to be a little bit more accurate, like the pose on the statue here. You probably can't quite get it that much because of where the peg hole on the foot is actually going to be, but you know, the fact that it's even, you know, articulated enough to do something like this seems quite good. The hands actually seem quite good, even though you do only get those exact ones. There's a side-on view showing a little bit of the articulation in action. There's from behind, the other side. There's the expression, again, a little bit more up close. Like I said, otherwise I think it's actually fine. Like, I think the eyebrows and eyes, the way they do the arrow, the shape, the ears and stuff like that is all fine. It's just that mouth. Why are they having such a problem with this across all the different figure lines? I think the Diamond Select, sorry, the smaller scale McFarlane Aangs are okay. One of them, I think the expression's way too big, but the standard Aang I think is okay. The Diamond Select figure I just showed you is all right. Why is Aang like gnashing his teeth like this? I get it's an action figure and you want him in sort of more of an action pose, but of the mouth, but like, it's just, they're not quite getting it right in my opinion. But there it is. Interesting pose in the packaging as well to do it like that, but still, it looks cool. A lot of my thoughts really on this are just kind of like, we're starting all of these lines from the beginning, so it's gonna be a little bit boring going through, you know, the same characters over and over again, when I think we're at the point now where everyone just kind of wants to see a Suki action figure, a Mei action figure, Ty Lee, getting to the like Boomies, the Rokus, seeing Korra action figures come out, and see how they do them for like the first time. Just, you know, seeing another, you know, book 1 Aang, another book 1 Zuko. You know, Katara figures are still rather unique, so, you know, it'll be cool to see the 7-inch Katara, which I guess will be the main character in Wave 2, along with probably Sokka, who obviously the Diamond Select figure I don't think is very good, so hopefully, you know, 7-inch Sokka would be a massive improvement. Same goes for Toph when they get around to her. But again, only 2 figures per wave. We don't know how long there's going to be per wave. It could be quite a while before we even get to those characters, let alone the Irohs, because again, they're going to want to do multiple Aangs, so book 3 Aang is probably coming sooner than you think. Some sort of an Avatar State 7-inch Aang figure is coming. They're probably going to do Blue Spirit Zuko before they even get to, you know, the other characters. So it's just that slow and steady progress to get to the characters that people actually want. And that's just the thing of having sort of 3 toy lines launched at sort of like scattered time periods of, like, you know, Diamond Select are well ahead, but they're also doing very low amounts of figures per wave, and they're also doing quite a lot of redos of characters. And it's just a little frustrating. But anyway, here is the Zuko, and as we saw this, we've seen a glimpse of this one before from the McFarlane video. The expression again, have a neutral expression extra head. I'm okay, like, if you give Zuko this really angry expression, but give the option to do something else as well. This just feels like, you know, too extreme of an expression to be the only one on the figure. Other than that, like, I think that there's actually some nice stuff here in terms of the big jet of fire, the 2 fire daggers here. That's what you get in the box, the stand, and the different effect parts. It seems quite good, but again, look at that neutral, otherwise neutral pose for Zuko, but just the expression is so angry, it's so excessive. I get book 1 Zuko is quite angry at times, and that's what he's meant to be in book 1, but just as the thing to represent the figure from this line, I think it's just a little bit over the top. Otherwise, you know, the detail on the kind of leather parts of the armor, the different fabrics, all looks really, really good. They just need to, you know, just feels like, ask the fans if this is an okay expression or something like that. You know, it just feels a bit like this stuff comes out, as fans we tend to just complain about it, nothing changes, and it's like they never learn. So it's just kind of like, come on, who made these choices? Because otherwise it looks good. Like I said, this looks like it's going to be relatively useful articulation. My biggest problem with the Diamond Select figures is that while it has the articulation, it's awful to use in practice because the joints are usually like super stiff, or just the way it's the movement is sort of molded in other parts. It means it restricts the motion. This looks like it's actually going to be usable articulation, and the sculpt seems just as good. So to me, already these in general seem like an improvement over Diamond Select, even if maybe the face expressions are a little, the choices of them is a little out there. The only other thing to say is that, you know, they cost $20 coming in October as well, is that randomly on the Zuko it says this paragraph here: surprise, surprise, this very special item might have limited variants randomly inserted throughout the production run. If you're extra lucky, you could potentially receive one of these highly sought after ultra rare collectibles when you order this item. Please note that we cannot accept requests for specific variants upon ordering, so on, yeah. And the item you receive may be slightly different from the standard edition pictured. Some attached images may include a picture of the prized variant. I've looked a few times and I can't see what the difference is, because to me, it's book 1 Zuko. The only thing you're going to change, if there is a change, is probably the head sculpt and maybe a different accessory. I don't know what else you're actually going to do in terms of this, unless it's a really extreme thing that we don't know about. I don't think these pictures show off what it is. It also should be noted that it doesn't say this about Aang, and I don't think, yeah, it doesn't say it about the statue either. It just says it on this one, that is the case. let's go through this again. Because I don't remember hearing this about even the McFarlane stuff. Does any of the McFarlane stuff say anything about production runs and so on? I'm not even sure if they don't seem to have the other McFarlane stuff up. But yeah, bit of a weird one there. A chase variant. Like, did they just copy this over from maybe another Zuko description? I'm not sure, but it seems specific to this one overall. So I'm not sure if that's actually like correct or not, but it says it there. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, there is the news that we have. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on a potential here upcoming Azula exclusive Funko. What are your thoughts on that, as well as the 12-inch Aang statue and the 7-inch Aang and Zuko? What are your thoughts? But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.